Caesar has the Senate declare him dictator.
Caesar is using this as a fig leaf to hide the fact that there are no limits to his influence and power.
At just 19 years old, Augustus Caesar stepped onto the world stage with no military training, no political experience, and a last-minute inheritance. Yet, within a few short years, he toppled Rome's most powerful enemies and reshaped an entire civilization. His rise was so improbable, so calculated, so relentless, that ancient historians struggled to decide whether he was Rome's savior or its most brilliant conqueror. This was the man who transformed a crumbling republic into a sprawling empire without ever calling himself a king. This video explores the extraordinary life of Augustus Caesar, from his unlikely ascent to his ruthless consolidation of power, and the sweeping reforms that cemented his place as one of history's most influential rulers. By the end, you'll understand how he controlled the greatest empire of the ancient world, and why his legacy still shapes modern leadership, politics, and power itself. Stay till the end to uncover the strategies, secrets, and sheer force of will that made Augustus a figure unlike any other in history. Long before he became the architect of a new world order, Augustus entered the world as Gaius Octavius Thurinus, a seemingly ordinary child born on September 23, 63 BC, in the small Roman town of Velletri. His family had modest political roots. His father served as a senator, and his mother, Atia, was Julius Caesar's niece. But his true shaping came from the quiet strength of his grandmother Julia, Julius Caesar's sister, who nurtured him with the traditions and discipline of Rome's oldest families. From childhood, Octavius stood out not for brute strength or military talent, but for something far more dangerous: relentless resolve. At just 16, he put on the toga of manhood and began navigating Rome's political storms. His defining moment came at 17, when he traveled to Hispania to join Julius Caesar. His ship wrecked. Enemy forces surrounded him, and yet the boy refused to turn back, trekking across hostile territory to reach Caesar's camp. That astonishing determination impressed Caesar so deeply that he secretly named the young man his heir. It was this kind of boldness that would one day reshape an empire. In 44 BC, Rome erupted into chaos. Julius Caesar was assassinated, the Republic fractured, and only one person, young, frail, and barely known, was named Caesar's successor. Octavian, just 19 at the time, abandoned his studies in Apollonia and stepped directly into the storm. Rome did not take him seriously at first. Senators mocked him. Generals dismissed him. Veterans doubted he could lead. But Octavian won armies, not through charisma, but with cold logic and strategic generosity, paying soldiers from Caesar's inheritance and presenting himself as the champion of Caesar's memory. His uneasy alliance with Mark Antony and Lepidus formed the Second Triumvirate, a three-man dominion that divided Rome's territories. But alliances forged in ambition rarely survive ambition itself. When Antony fell under the spell of Cleopatra and began carving out kingdoms in the east, Rome recoiled. Octavian answered with propaganda, portraying Antony as a slave to a foreign queen. The final break came at Actium in 31 BC, where Octavian's admiral, Agrippa, outmaneuvered Antony's fleet. Antony and Cleopatra fled, and faced with defeat, both chose suicide over capture. With their deaths, Octavian stood alone, Rome's uncontested master. Though he commanded absolute power, Octavian knew the fate of those who reached too high. Caesar's blood still stained the Senate floor. So instead of proclaiming himself king, he crafted a clever illusion. In 27 BC, he announced that he was restoring the Republic, then graciously accepted the Senate's plea for him to stay in power. In return, they granted him a new name, Augustus, meaning the Exalted One. Behind the facade of old institutions, Augustus engineered a new political system, the Principate. He held lifetime control of the military, the treasury, and Rome's most vital provinces, all while appearing humble and constitutional. It was a masterstroke, soft power hiding hard authority. During his 40-year reign, Augustus nearly doubled the empire's size. He expanded Roman roads, strengthened frontiers, reorganized the tax system, founded the Praetorian Guard, created Rome's first fire brigade and police force, and transformed the city itself with marble monuments, forums, temples, and libraries. His empire would know 2 centuries of unprecedented peace and stability, the famed Pax Romana. Though Augustus was not a battlefield general, he understood the language of power. Victories, provinces, and armies loyal to him alone. His closest friend, Marcus Agrippa, became the military genius behind many of Rome's greatest triumphs, routing Sextus Pompey in Sicily, reshaping naval warfare, and securing territories that protected the Italian heartland. To compete with Antony's reputation, Augustus launched campaigns in Illyricum and Dalmatia, strengthening Rome's northern borders. He annexed Egypt after Actium, turned Galatia into a province, expanded Roman influence deep into Gaul and Spain, and pushed Rome's frontiers to the Danube and Rhine. His stepsons Tiberius and Drusus extended Roman reach even further, crushing rebellions and subduing tribes across Europe. Yet victory had its price. Drusus fell during a campaign in Germany, and the horrifying Varian disaster of 9 AD, in which 3 Roman legions were annihilated, forced Augustus to abandon expansion east of the Rhine. Still, through careful administration, strategic alliances, and relentless organization, Augustus forged the largest, best-run military machine the ancient world had ever seen. Augustus could build an empire, but controlling his own household proved far more complicated. He married 3 times, ultimately settling with Livia Drusilla, whose intelligence and decisiveness made her one of Rome's most influential women. His only biological child, Julia, brought political hope, but personal turmoil. Augustus exiled both her and later her daughter for scandalous behavior that violated his moral laws. His early choices for heir, Marcellus, and later his grandsons, Gaius and Lucius, died before they could assume power. In the end, he reluctantly adopted Livia's son from her first marriage, Tiberius. It wasn't affection that guided the decision, it was survival. Augustus needed a capable successor to protect the fragile system he had crafted. Old age did not affect Augustus's mind, nor his ambition. Despite illnesses, conspiracies, and heartbreaking losses, he continued refining the architecture of Roman government, centralizing justice, strengthening frontiers, reforming finances, and ensuring Rome's infrastructure would outlast him. On August 19th, 14 AD, after more than 40 years of rule, the man who built one of the greatest empires that history has ever known died quietly in Nola. According to tradition, his last words to the Roman people were a statement both humble and triumphant. "I found Rome a city of clay. I leave it a city of marble." After his death, the Senate had declared Augustus a god. Rome had lost a ruler, but gained a legend. More than a statesman, he was an architect of systems, a master of image, a strategist of patience, and the man who shaped the ancient world more than any emperor who followed. His legacy echoes across continents, from political institutions to city planning, and from literature to law. Under Augustus, Rome was not merely ruled, it was reborn.